Blockchain Breakfast podcast is sponsored by Crazy 8 Token, the newest payment solution for casinos and their customers in emerging markets around the world. Crazy 8 Token is powered by the Casino Coin blockchain. For more information, visit crazy8token.com. And also, Futurist Conference, Canada's largest blockchain and emerging technologies event. Register today at futuristconference.com for this virtual event happening November 11th and 12th. And also, Fact Finance, who just launched their Fact Lending Pool, where you can stake a minimum 500 Fact and receive 57.5% APY. Visit fact.finance today for more information. And we are live. Welcome everybody to the Blockchain Breakfast podcast.
What's going on?
Hello.
Good morning. October 11th. And we got the number one podcaster in all of crypto, David G, sitting with us, of course, hosting this bad boy with his VP Ross and our awesome guest, Adam OBrien from BTC Solutions. And we're going to get into exactly how much this guy actually does in this space, because he runs. That's all he does. He runs around all of Canada and does his stuff. So he's looking comfortable, but he's probably already been up for like 6 hours.
Right. That was mostly to do with the toddlers, though. The toddlers woke up early today, so.
Yeah.
What's going on, Adam? It's a pleasure to finally speak to you.
Guys, thanks for having me. This is great to be here.
I mean, you and I know each other, and you and Ross know each other, but you've never met David. But, man, I saw that you're going public, and I'm like, what the heck? That's nuts.
That is awesome.
So can I ask you this question? Wait, hold on. You're going public in Canada, correct?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be great. In my opinion, there's nothing that's listed right now that is like, going to be a profitable entity that isn't just listed hoping to get the kind of the eyeballs on them. And so we were very excited to be able to offer investors a way to invest in the space and a way to get exposure to the space with an entity like ours that is profitable in upward and downward markets, because we obviously, we're a transactional business. We make money when the price goes up or the price goes down. If Bitcoins are selling or Bitcoins are buying, then we're making money. So that's a nice thing. And I'm definitely excited to kind of give exposure in that way. This is like, if you replace Bitcoin with shoes, the model's the same. And that's what I like.
Yeah. I mean, you've done a lot for the space as far as awareness, for sure. I mean, well, full disclosure, I have I have one of your machines in my office, so I live with it every day. But actually, Ross and I were just talking the other day, weren't we, Ross, about paying our credit cards with full crypto from his website, like paying our bills from your website with crypto? Because Ross and I were talking about, full-time crypto and stuff like that. And it's like, well, how do you rail off and how do you actually operate? Well, you just go to Adam's website and start paying your bills. So that's the other part of your business. So not just the machines, but paying bills through your website, right?
Yeah. So, the business obviously right now is kind of like our bread and butter, or our main focus is ATMs. That's kind of where it started. We started in 2014. We deployed the first kind of ATM in Alberta, kind of migrated over to Saskatchewan from there. And then now we're across Canada. But in 2015, we deployed kind of an online way to buy Bitcoin through a FlexiPin voucher. And then from there, we've done bill payments, gift cards, and just other kind of online ways to use, buy, and sell Bitcoin. So that's kind of where, don't get me wrong, ATMs are focused for deploying. We've deployed 35 or 40 ATMs this year so far through a pandemic, which I'm quite proud of. And I think the team has absolutely been crushing it. And then that's kind of still our focus, but we are also building out this team of people that are going to be operating in kind of, what does the space need? Merchant processing. Mark, you and I have talked about that plenty. Ways to pay your bills online. We're looking at, is it worth doing some kind of payroll system? Do employees want to be able to opt in to get paid in Bitcoin rather than in than in dollars. And so that's kind of where we're looking now is what does the space need? And we were one step ahead with ATMs, and we're hoping kind of to continue that mantra and be one step ahead of the industry that way.
So you're trying to make a solution, kind of like an ADP paycheck solution to where people can get paid in Bitcoin?
Yeah, like, I mean, and again, this is kind of just, pretty hypothetical at this point. These are just kind of ideas that have been floating around past the team. But like, really, there's no reason we can't live in Bitcoin right now. Our goal from day one is to make Bitcoin accessible and understood. And so accessibility is the massive piece. And with accessibility, you have to make it super, super easy for people to get into it, and then super, super easy to use. And so that's kind of where all of our decisions are dominated, is like, okay, this is a great idea. Does it make it easy? And does it make it accessible? And so if it does, then that's a good win.
So let me ask you a question. Like, through this pandemic, have you found that your machines are getting more action through the pandemic? Or a lot more people actually getting into Bitcoin through the pandemic?
Yeah, like, I would say yes. So during the pandemic, we were a few weeks behind everyone else getting shut down, which was great. Our machines are scattered everywhere, right? We're in restaurants, we're in cafes, gas stations, we're in big shopping centers. So when those started shutting down, we obviously started seeing a dip in sales, because when your machines are shut down, no one can use them. It seems, that's pretty obvious. But what I saw was the machines that were open got a lot busier. So that was nice to see, is that, people didn't stop buying Bitcoin. And arguably, Mark, to your point, people bought more Bitcoin, which was really interesting to see. And so at one point, I think the max, we had like 75% of our locations were closed. But at no point in time did our sales dip by 75%. So that was great to see. I think that, it's kind of like, the market is the market. And if there's one Bitcoin ATM or there's 100 million Bitcoin ATM, the market is just growing every single month, which is really cool.
That's pretty dope to not have a dip.
My machine was off. People were coming in. They're like, "Oh, you're open."
Yeah, exactly. And so we and it was someone's full-time job on the team to just monitor, okay, who's open this week, and then changing it on the website, because things were changing so rapidly. And it was like the second that machine was listed as open, boom, people were going there. People were hungry to get Bitcoin. I think that, like, okay, so 4 years ago, you're talking about Bitcoin. It's like, you're talking, well, it's a hedge against the dollar. People are like, why do I need the hedge against the dollar? This is crazy. The dollar is so strong. Look at the USD, look at the CAD, everything's so strong. And then people finally, for the first time, are like, wait a minute, like, this is not as strong as I kind of thought it was. And so they were rushing to alternative kind of methods of storing money. And ultimately, I think that, like, people like us, people that understand crypto and have been in it for a long time, we don't look as crazy anymore. And people are like, they kind of, they just made fun of us at first, and then they kind of humored us because everyone in the space made a ton of money. And now they're like, wait a minute, like, those points are actually kind of valid, and they're kind of getting interested now.
I'll be honest with you, in the last 3 months, I've had more people come up to me and ask me to learn more about Bitcoin than I've had in like 2 years. Like,
totally.
The last 3 months has been really weird for me. It's been like, before it was like, oh, you're in Bitcoin? What's Bitcoin? Yeah. Now it's like, oh my God, how long you've been in Bitcoin for? I want to learn about it. Like, the last 3 months has been a strange curve. Like, it's been a really weird curve for me as far as real people asking about it. Like,
to me, I would concur with that and say that I have a lot of people that I told, like, probably a few years ago to get in, and they laughed. It was just like, really? Bitcoin, I was like, okay, at first I was offended. Now I'm like, I get to sit back and just relax, like, now the questions pour in. Oh, how do I get this? Can you do a conference call? Have these two other people, my family's interested. I'm like, no, I don't do consultations, but yes, I will go ahead. In my mind, I'm like, I'm doing adoption. I gotta go ahead and do this stuff, even though these people did not believe in magic money, as they called it, 4 years ago when I approached them about the subject.
I'll tell you, up here. The first person that comes up with a full-on in and out, on and off rail with Bitcoin processing or crypto processing, like a real one, I'm talking Cash App, Venmo, operating the same way, but for crypto. The first company that comes out with that right to market the proper way wins. That's
Yeah, I
what
would
we
agree
need.
with that. Making it easy. The difficult part though about that is also making it safe, right?
Yeah.
Cash App, Venmo, those apps are horribly unsafe.
Yeah.
Like if you are even smelling the wrong way, your funds are frozen, and that app, which frankly you're going to rely on, you're going to start relying on, is virtually unusable. So making those safe and also legal, there's lots of hurdles to kind of jump through there, which is fun, and that's what makes, that's the challenge, right? That's how do you make it accepted, how do you make it easy, and then how do you continue to make sure that you're operating properly with like the core values that we believe in, which of course is like non-custodial, decentralized, and decentralized can only go so far, obviously, because we're all companies and centralized companies. But as long as that non-custodial piece is so important to make sure that people stay safe, because frankly, our education system, like no one's learning about custody. No one understands custody, and kids get it, right? Like if I told a kid like, hey, give me your Pokemon cards for 2 years, they'd be like, no way, like these are my cards, and if I don't have them, there's no chance, right? But then we lose that somewhere with like, oh, here's my money, here's my investment fund. It's like with everything that we actually hold, we get custody, but with money, it's like no, that's fine. Someone else deal with it, which is crazy. We have to get back to that. We have to get people back.
I think about that.
Offered now.
I compare that to my comics for sure. Having custody of my comics, that's what I compare it to. It's like, why would I give somebody else my comics to hold on to?
Yeah,
and to manage for me.
Ross, what do you mean percentages? Like you're talking like people offering, like taking custody and then giving out money?
Yeah. So if there's a custodial wallet service and they're offering people now, 6-8%, Binance is offering that much.
Man, like
people are like,
greedy?
wow,
like
it's more than the bank will ever offer me.
Sure, but that's where greedy, like what is it? Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered, or whatever the saying is. We're holding an asset. Like nobody buys a house and then it's like, okay, I got to get 2 houses now. How am I going to turn one house into 2 houses? But everyone buys Bitcoin and like, okay, I got to grow my Bitcoin. It's like, no. You bought your Bitcoin. You're done. You can Bitcoin's the lazy man's game, because all you got to do is just buy it and hold it. That's all you got to do. Don't give it away. Don't,
But that's the problem. That's the confusion that we have. You're buying it, yet you're being told to spend it. But then you have people telling you that it's going to 100 to 200 grand. Why am I spending it? So,
100% agree.
But don't look at the other cryptocurrencies, because it's Bitcoin or nothing. So now you have people these are people that I actually talk to on a daily basis on Twitter through my DMs. They're like, I'm completely confused with this entire thing with the Bitcoin Maximus telling me is Bitcoin and nothing. I can't use that. I can't use Bitcoin. I have to hold it. So how do I use it? But to me, you hold. Listen, like I've always said, I have Bitcoin as my most. It's the most. It makes up the most of my portfolio, but I have XRP, or others to go ahead and use to make payments. How do you teach people about Bitcoin if you go teach people to just hold it?
Simple. You tell everyone to form their own opinions. I got an opinion, you got an opinion, you got an opinion, you got an opinion. And they should take all 4 of us, and all 4 of us probably differ. And that's good, right? Diversity is the key to a strong economy. And so
Correct.
If everyone made their own opinions, like the best thing about this ecosystem, nobody is forcing anybody to do anything, right? If you don't want to come in, that's fine. You do your own thing, and that's okay.
Correct.
I'm going to disagree with you, but that's fine. I can still like you, and I can still do your thing, and I'll do my thing, and that's all good. And I think that's the key, is like we've gone away. Our monetary society for so long has been, this is the way you do it, right? You expect 2% per year to disappear, so you have to get more than 2% a year. So what do? You give it to a professional that where it's safer to go ahead and do that. And we've been brought up that way, and so now we're telling the people the opposite, and they're not getting it. We're not teaching it, and so people are they don't trust themselves. Pardon me. Then they have no confidence to truly take control of their money and take control of their funds. And now we have access to the best money that has ever existed, and people are too scared to use it, which is a dangerous thing in my opinion.
I remember
because
having a conversation.
again. I go back to the whole. I just go back to the whole thing. I know I'm probably like slowing down. Am I slowing down here?
You're good.
No, you're okay.
It just goes back to I think people are just confused, honestly, whether
Yeah.
to hold, because all you have is buy Bitcoin, stack stats, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then
But-
if it's money, then what do I use?
Well, here's the thing. If you get $5 million paycheck, what do you do with it? Whatever the hell you want.
But I'm
Your
talking
money.
about. No, I get it, but I'm talking about the regular person who makes, let's say, $70,000 a year, right? We're telling them to go ahead and I'm in it. Like we're telling them, hey, look at Bitcoin. It's a great opportunity for you. To me, it's a great asset. Will always be a great asset. It's digital gold. Like you can't go wrong with it, right? They go ahead and put a good amount in. Listen, let's say they just say, you know what? I'm taking my 401k. I hope you don't. My 401k and everything, putting it into Bitcoin. Now what? You know, that's really like, for me, I'm like, hey, you can look at other cryptocurrencies and use them, but hold like 80% in Bitcoin. That's just my, that's my thinking about how to work.
But David, when you're getting a paycheck in fiat, you put it into the bank account. What's the first thing most people do? They just go and run their debit card.
This is where I like
same idea.
But this is where I like Adam's idea, where
rotate it.
If you can go ahead and get a system in like ADP, right? So ADP, fairly known, they provide paychecks, right? Every Friday you get a paycheck from ADP or Paycheck, those being the two companies here in the United States that are huge. If you had the option from either of those two companies to say to your ownership, hey, I'd like to go ahead and get paid in cryptocurrency, that would make it so much better. Now you don't have to go ahead and pay any fees or whatnot. You just get Bitcoin directly, right? You have NFL and NBA athletes that want to get paid in Bitcoin, but obviously they can't. So they have to take their money, go through this whole process to finally get that Bitcoin. I appreciate what Adam said, like to make that kind of platform where you just you can pick and choose. You want fiat or you want Bitcoin? I want Bitcoin. Perfect. Boom, right into your account. Now you can go ahead and decide what you want to really do with your Bitcoin. Do you want to spend it, or do you want to take, like, maybe say 10% of it and get some other cryptocurrency to go ahead and use on a daily basis?
Well, there's other cryptos that are quick for sure. I mean,
forget about. I'm just talking about any cryptocurrency. Forget about quick or not.
Well, I think David, there's already a company that does crypto for paychecks. I think Cornerstone, right? David Schwartz, the other David Schwartz, not the XRP David Schwartz, but LTC David Schwartz. He already has Cornerstone, right?
No, but we need, like, no disrespect, but we need, and somebody's going to feel disrespected by this, but
no disrespect, but you're about to be disrespected.
We need like an ADP, like you know how like PayPal's coming into the space? Like we need like an ADP type of company, a check processing company to come in and implement blockchain, and obviously implement, sending out Bitcoin. That's when you'll see further adoption.
Well,
to start it off now, and then it's going to take about 3 to 4 years to actually get somebody to say, okay, we're going to grab onto this. And by that time, ADP will probably grab it.
A lot of these companies are waiting for the bigger player to make a move first, right? So that's how a lot of these companies work. They wait for another player, bigger player, to make the move, and then they go, oh, they did it, so now we can do it. Like, it's a comfort thing for companies too. It's like processing companies, like the major processing companies in Canada. They always wait for the bigger player or another player to make the move before they get into it. It's like you look at Clover.
The first guy through the wall gets the bloodiest, right? So everyone's waiting for someone else to get all scratched up.
I mean, in the States,
that's not true in Bitcoin.
So different. In the States, it's just cutthroat. Like,
because they're so used to that way of doing things. The first one through in crypto doesn't get bloody. It's the opposite.
ADP will not let anyone come out here and just invent something and just take over. Like, they've been around too long, they'll buy them the fuck out quickly.
Oh, but that's the beauty of the free market, though, right? Because that founder, that CEO, can refuse the buyout. Right? No one's forcing anyone to get bought out.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. So free market dictates that if I believe in my product and I believe that society needs this, and I value that more than I value a paycheck or more than I value that big buyout, then I'm a go, right? I don't care what ADP thinks. We're using a decentralized, we're using a blockchain,
Correct.
the best blockchain in the world that's like, run by an entire network that believes in the product. I don't need anyone to tell me that I cannot do it, which is the beauty of Bitcoin.
Are you going to license down in the US, or you're not interested in that market?
Yeah, that's a good question. We're certainly looking at international expansion and kind of, figuring out which one is going to be the best way to go. The United States have done things good in some ways and really, really bad in others. So it's just weighing that against, taking it elsewhere and seeing kind of where we want to be and where we want to grow.
I mean, in your business, it's a big footprint to cover. Like if you license down into the US, it's a huge footprint. Whereas Canada, you've got a massive amount of land space, not so many provinces in between. So it's costing you more money to get there actually, but less to manage than the US.
Well, and the problem with the US is that it's like in Canada, the regulations are federal, but in the US, there's 50 different,
Yep.
iterations of the same regulations. So you have to go through and get licensed in each individual state, which is a problem. The barrier to entry is very, very high, and they haven't done it in a way that kind of encourage people to grow. They want to keep everyone in their little box, and that's something that I don't really agree with, and something that will ultimately make a decision in whether or not we go down to the US.
Well, it's hard right now because you don't have young people. I ran for Congress. You don't have young people in office right now, or I forget about young people. You just don't have anybody who's really tech savvy sitting in Congress. Okay, I think we say old people, and I think that's disrespectful. So I apologize for that. It's really tech savvy. We don't have people that are tech savvy that are sitting there, maybe for a few, but it's just a few that are gonna get overwhelmed by those that are being paid for by Johnson and Johnson. So at the end of the day, if you saw the report that came out by the Attorney General, it was basically like, hey, we believe in the innovation, but, and then the but came in and basically said, but you're not doing it here. And what's gonna happen here in the States is basically first of all, you're not attracting talent. So let's forget about the talent that's leaving. We're not attracting talent like we used to, where people are like, oh, I'm going to come to the States because, it's freedom and we can go ahead and build stuff. Now it's more so like, no, it's regulated. Blockchain isn't so much regulated, but digital assets are. And then you have, like Ripple. Ripple came onto LA, Blockchain Summit and said, like, we're going to have to, leave the United States because we just don't understand the regulations. There is no blueprint. There's nothing.
See, but that's kind of the problem with a platform like Ripple is that it's centralized, right? Like you can't regulate Bitcoin in that way, and you can regulate the companies that use Bitcoin, but you can't regulate the platform.
I think Chris from Ripple was saying more so that there's just no regulations for like digital assets in general. Like you don't know what you're doing right or wrong. Like there's just no guideline. So like, what do you do? Like, why would you stay here? You go to Estonia or you go over to Eastern Europe, you're good. You go to Malta or wherever, go to Canada, you're good. I mean, like everywhere but here, you're good. Yeah. And it's just like to protect the US dollar. I get it, but embrace this shit. And I guarantee you, like, it doesn't hurt the US dollar. It won't. It won't. And both sides won't. Nobody will suffer. Everybody will win in this situation.
What do you think?
Big companies are diving in and buying Bitcoin. You had Jack Dorsey went ahead and bought $50 million in Bitcoin.
Yeah, but
I mean, you're not hurt.
It's $50 million, but what percentage of his portfolio?
That's 1%, which I think is great.
Half a percent, I think, wasn't it? Wasn't it half a percent?
I think it was 1. I like for years, people always ask. I mean, everyone gets it, right? Well, how much should I put in it? Which I find hilarious because you wouldn't ask someone like, how big of a house should I buy?
Exactly.
Think the answer is just like, how much can you afford? But I always say, 1% of your of your assets, 1% of your portfolio should be in Bitcoin. And the reason for that is that if that 1% goes to zero, chances are you're not going to starve. But then there's a chance that 1% outpaces the other 99, which I think is the coolest thing. For the first time in a long time, and maybe for the first time ever like this, you have an opportunity to like have a fairly little risk for a really, really big reward. And of course, like, all the legal disclaimers of not having financial advice and all the rest of it are aside. Like, we've seen
Not
Bitcoin time
advice,
and
yes.
time and time again go through and benefit. Is someone like talking to me, telling me to stop talking about legal stuff?
No. I said,
That's not
I just said,
financial advice.
this is not financial advice. This is educational. Everything said
Educational
here is
purposes only.
educational only.
And opinionated.
But look at the slide. Look, if you want to compare investing into the US dollar over the last 6 years and investing into Bitcoin over the last 6 years, which one wins?
Oh, it's
Right.
it's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's an absolute no-brainer. Even with the massive collapse in like 2013 and then in 2017 or 2018, like when you zoom out, and that's been like a popular term, is just like, hey yo, zoom out. Like, Bitcoin just crashed to $10,000. You're like, okay, great.
Because you got into the space when 2012,
13.
Okay, so that was when the Bitcoin Foundation actually formed. Same year Foundation formed, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Over in Toronto, you're talking?
Yeah. No, the Bitcoin Foundation.
Which one?
Bitcoin.
I think there's
the one in the major one, the one in the US.
Oh, okay.
That was in 2013.
Yeah, I don't know when that one was founded.
So
yeah,
there wasn't. So you've gone through it all. Like you've seen all of it actually since 2013. What?
Yeah, I watched Bitcoin go from $1,000 to like $200, and everyone called it dead. Actually, I remember talking with someone. Bitcoin was like, I remember $267. That's where it sat. It sat there for like, it felt like months, probably weeks. My buddy and I were in a coffee shop, and we were like, maybe this is it. Like maybe Bitcoin is just worth $267, and like, and then like, I kid you not, 5 months later it was back over $1,000, and then like 5 months after that we saw what happened. But like it was just crazy to have that mindset and then to see how wrong. So like I just have that. I've got that battle scar, right? I've been in that position. I've bought Bitcoin for $100 and I've sold Bitcoin for $100, and I know all the prices in between. And so I've got those battle scars now, and I kind of know what I have comfort in the market volatility, I guess.
I was talking to Justin the other day, and I think when he got into the space as a dev, it was like $13 or something, Bitcoin. I think it was. I'm not pertinent to the information of knowing whether he got in, because I don't ask him those questions. It's not my business. But at the time he got in, it was $13, and then I think it went up to 200 or something, or 300. I don't know, but that's so old. That's so long ago. Like, with Adam, what are you seeing? What are we missing in the educational space? Because I know, being where we're from in Alberta, we had a lot of meetups. We have a lot of maximalists. What are we missing? What are we really missing to get education out there?
I don't think it's so much the education is missing. I think that what we're doing wrong is that we're not encouraging people to do their own research. There's a lot of scammy things going on in the space, and people are getting gobbled, and people are gobbling them up, and we're not showing people how to do their own research. Like I guarantee you, less than 1% of people in this space have read a white paper, which is like very, very sad. People, rather than downloading something, risking or having a trial balance of $10, they're just trusting someone else on YouTube to tell them verbatim. And they're taking that guy's opinion or that girl's opinion as truth rather than as opinion, right? If you ask me, how do I get the best golf swing? I'll tell you what I think you have to do to get the best golf swing, but it's not the truth. And it might be very different for you, right? How do I get the best body? Well, some people say you eat 7 times a day, and some people say you fast for 4 days, right? You look at The Rock and he's like, oh yeah, I have 13 meals and like 9,000 calories a day. And then you talk to like other guys like, oh yeah, I drink lemon water, every 2 hours, and I eat bread once a month. It's like, and everyone takes those, and they gather all the information and take it as opinion. But this space, I think we have too many people that are taking things as fact and not enough people doing trial and error and really trying to understand the technology.
I mean, for me to get the best body, I just listen to Body Break. That's always worked for me. Always.
I just sit here and I just eat pumpkin pie, and it's been working out fine.
So people do.
I gotta tell you what's messed up. Talking about body weight. I've gone on to a plant-based diet, not like I needed to like lose weight, but I just wanted to do something different. And I go ahead, I lose about 15 to 17 pounds, right? So now I'm working out. I have a personal trainer, working out, right? Just like I did when I played hockey, working out. And I was going on to a conference, and I'm like, I go ahead and call Ross. I'm like, Ross, what do you think? I can't fit into none of my suits. I'm like, holy shit. And that's because you just said something, intermediate fasting. I've always done that, but now doing it on a plant-based diet, it's really different. Like I'm talking about you're getting shred to the point where now Ross is like, well, can't you take that to your tailor? I'm like, no, I need to eat McDonald's and pizza.
That's why
and a
I
burger.
sent you
And a burger.
sent you a burger and you didn't eat it.
Sends me a burger and I almost got. Anyway, that's for another time. But that's crazy that you brought that up. But go ahead, Mark. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to catch up on.
No, I really wanted to hear about your cannabis diet.
I know you got. No, not.
You said plant-based, right?
Plant-based, not cannabis.
But well, cannabis is a plant.
No, but I don't. Yeah, I get it, but I don't smoke it.
You eat it.
Yes.
Okay. So I find like people do more freaking research on buying a TV than they would buying Bitcoin. It's like if you look
but
at
that's
like
because you have but that's because you have the Bitcoin Maximus sitting there and saying, you know what, Mark, buy Bitcoin.
Okay, buddy. I believe me, I get people all the time. What should I buy? Should I buy it now? Blah blah. Oh, Adam knows this because he gets it 300 times more than I get it. But should I buy it? What should I buy? How much should I spend? Should I do your own research? It's like you research freaking TVs before you buy one. You're spending $1,000 on a TV. It's like, should I get a Panasonic, an LG? It's like, why don't you research where the parts are coming from and research how the inside of a TV is actually made? Because really, you're buying the outside of the TV. You're spending another $200 to buy the outside labeling.
Mark, how many times do we talk about this? We live in a generation that is lazy.
I know, dude.
If you're talking about 20 years ago, you would have everybody looking into a book. Sorry, excuse me. You would have everybody on AOL, okay, dialing in on their dial-ups, okay, and reading up about, reading the white paper for Bitcoin. You don't have that now because you can order food online, okay, and have your shopping. You can order that online, have that all delivered. Everything, people want instant gratification. They don't want that stuff. They don't want to learn it.
I agree. I agree.
Mark, what's Bitcoin? Buy it. Okay, hold my hand. Take me to where I need to buy it. That's what it's about.
We want instant gratification. I'll tell you what, even I do. I bought actually something from Amazon Prime yesterday. First thing I asked my wife is, can you pick the one that can deliver tomorrow?
Exactly.
I know.
You want it immediately. Did you do your homework on it?
On what I bought? Yeah, I did. Yeah.
No, but how much homework did you do on it? Honestly.
Lots. Ask Ross. I bought an Ethernet cord. My phone to him. What's this? What's that?
Look,
I
he
phoned
bought
3
some
people
Cat
and
6 cables, so this
and
doesn't
on an
happen.
Ethernet cord.
Well, obviously it's not connected right now, but okay. But I get it. But
It's coming
Ross told
today, though. It's coming today.
Well, today is not right
That was
now, and
so
right
good.
now it's kind of you're on delay. But all I want, here we go. He's on. But what I wanted to say is, you had Ross tell you exactly what you needed.
Well, no,
that's the thing. You didn't actually, like, no disrespect. I'm saying, like, you didn't actually sit, because I asked Ross for some shit. Also, I'm like, yo, Ross, what web camera can I get? So I'm part of that. I can be part of that lazy situation at times.
No, I researched anyway.
Stop.
I did.
You researched by reading the reviews. That's all you did.
Reviews mean a lot to me, actually.
I would not. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna sit there, read a review. This is the same thing I told Ross when this comedian went on and said, like, these people have fucking time to fucking write an 18-page essay about a restaurant they went to and how bad it sucked. That's how
I love
bad your
reviews.
life
I
is.
love reviews. I always take the good and the bad, throw out the good and the bad, and look at the middle. Like I love
I wouldn't-
reviews.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I would never write a negative review. Never.
I'm gonna write one
Zero.
about you. I'm gonna write a negative one about you.
Well,
Adam, this
you're
is
always
what we
negative
call
about me.
the Golden Girls part of the show.
It's pretty glamorous.
This is what we call like.
for fighting.
I was going to ask
Adam,
you, Adam.
Go ahead.
Adam, when we put out our first issue of our magazine in Canada, one of the things we did is we did a spread in the middle of all of the Bitcoin ATMs across North America. And as you look at areas like Saskatchewan had 0. This is back in early 2018. And in areas like, Central America, like in Kansas, there's areas that was 0. And you put did you put the first Bitcoin ATM into Saskatchewan? Is that correct?
Yeah, that was ages ago though. In 2014, there were like there was very few comparatively in 2018, but yeah, there were a couple, but yeah, we were the first one in Saskatchewan.
So doing that, that you're going to have low volume, but you are a pioneer. Like you're really, it's almost like a billboard. People are going to see that and then be like, "Oh, what's that?" And then have the opportunity to get into the industry. What was that like, putting that there and getting feedback as an industry pioneer?
I found it quite actually encouraging. There's like, no matter the size of the market, there's always like 1 or 3 or 5 people that are kind of like in the space already. And so it was kind of nice, like, that went in and they were like, oh, boom, I got to reach out. And so, before we enter a market, we kind of like to get involved with the community and kind of see what the community is doing. So we had a couple of great people. One guy actually up on his own started like the Saskatoon Bitcoin meetup, which was awesome. And he was in there kind of like, showing people. They had it at the cafe that we had things at, or that we had the machine at. So like the cafe was getting some business and they liked the Bitcoin ATM. So that kind of like, I really, really did enjoy that aspect was, going into a new space. And frankly, we probably could have been a little bit like back then, we could have probably been a little bit more strategic as to, where it was. But I really thought that getting roots and getting kind of roots in that community was the most important thing to do. So I found that was pretty good. And I really was encouraged by the community that kind of developed around it.
It's pretty cool because I think you got Bitcoin ATM in there way before they had 4G for cell phones, because Saskatchewan was way behind on that sort of technology. So it's amazing, I think as an industry, we thank people like you for doing that. It's amazing to keep small communities still connected to the new technology that we're getting. It's not easy to do.
No.
What I respect a lot about like even with you, Adam, and the way you're running your business is you focus on your own business. You're not focusing on other competition around you. And I really respect that a ton, because of course in the space we know that, man, so many people focus on other people. It's like, man, take that energy and focus on your own drive and focus on your own plan, and you're going to be miles ahead. But I really respect that, because it's like you're a grinder and you focus solely on your own scale out, not other people's stuff. I love that. I like that.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. And it's like what you said is it's so true. Like every waking second you're spending energy, and I chose very early on to focus on what I could, effectively change, or what I could do. And it's just a jealousy thing, right? Like ultimately, if you're focusing on someone else's business, it's because you're jealous of them because of either a success, or it's because you're putting them down because of their lack of success in compared to the comparison. And so neither of those things produce, a healthy thinking or cranial environment. And I just think that focusing on what I can change and focusing on the next best thing for me and for my team and our business is the way to go.
Yeah, you've done an amazing job scaling up, because I know when I met you, like at that time it was I think you're the cheapest ATM in Alberta. I believe it was Alberta. So you did a really, really, really good job getting to people in, because we had machines down the street from me at the time that were like 3 times as much transaction, right? To get in.
Yeah, we really tried to like adoption has always been kind of like accessibility and understandability has always been like the number one kind of focus. And so we try and take like what keeps the lights on, but also, what drives as many people in as possible. And it's been, it's like I said, I can't take all that credit because, I just get to, play the talking head, and we have like this incredible team that is really, really empowered to really, fundamentally shape our business. And it's been exciting to watch that team grow.
It's been exciting for me even to watch your team grow, like kind of over the years. Like it's been kind of cool. Like
different people rolling through and different contacts and all the rest of it. Thank you. Yeah.
No, but mainly the same. Like I've had 1 or 2 same contacts, one gentleman, but I've kind of watched you grow too. And it's been like kind of cool. I've talked to Ross kind of all the way through. It's like, man, he's doing this. Now he's doing this. Now his website's doing this. But I guess David's itching to talk about marketing. I know it. David.
No, it hasn't been brought up yet. I'm just see, like again, the marketing thing. Everybody gets it all wrong.
Do you have billboards, Adam? Oh, you did have a billboard.
We did once, and it was really expensive. And
that was the digital one, right?
We did some digital and some paper. We got like. What I was hoping was we did very little branding. I was hoping it was more of an awareness, like a Bitcoin awareness campaign. And the graphics were good. I think that the community itself liked it. I think where we missed was we put them in the wrong community. I think that if we had them in Alberta, and I just don't think it was in 2018, I think, maybe 2019.
18, yeah.
It just wasn't, we weren't quite strong enough yet. And I think if we did those same billboards today, we'd have a different effect. But frankly, like for the money we spent, a targeted ad is just it's tough
if you had a billboard in 18, I think it worked.
No, the billboard was literally right outside where I was.
What I'm saying, like if you put up a billboard though in general, like in 18, let's say, and like you thought like you weren't getting ROI on it, you're probably getting it now, because now people they think back and they go, oh my God, I remember there was a billboard out there.
Sure,
and absolutely, and that's what a billboard is. It's not an instant buy. It's more of like visual marketing. You get people to look at it, and then in a year, 6 months time, when somebody needs a new car, a new watch, whatever it is, in this situation, to go ahead and take out Bitcoin from a machine, they're like, oh, I remember seeing them advertise. Let me go find that machine or whatnot.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, that's a great point. And like I said, more of an awareness campaign, which kind of gives you intangible targets and intangible metrics, right? So tough to kind of see if it worked or not. But the marketing is such a fascinating thing. I mean, obviously, marketing in this space is not easy. Yeah. With all the blockers that are kind of up and out there. So yeah, it's been very, very interesting to kind of.
I think that what are you doing out there? You can never go ahead and get the actual data from a billboard. It's impossible. It really is. But like right now, though, I think you got a hell of a thing going like that. To me, that's like the coolest shit on the planet, man.
You should pull up Ross's website. Did you pull it up yet, Ross?
Which one?
His website.
Oh, here, I'll bring it up.
The amount of options that you can actually do on his web, because a lot of people.
I won't be able to see it, but I'll see it right after the show.
Why?
Because I can't see it here.
Yeah,
why?
I'm just going to share with the viewers.
The viewers see it.
Oh, the viewers. Because he's got a whole. It's not just BTM machines we're talking about here. This is like, it's full on. Where should I go visit it here? Oh yeah, okay. Oh, I can't see it either. Why can't I see it?
It's interesting with the.
Well, that's because you haven't learned how to use a computer yet.
Well, because I have to call Ross to ask him how to use it.
Exactly, and have him install your freaking.
The areas that you have for paying bills and credit cards.
Yeah.
This is a pretty unique thing for Canadians.
Yeah.
Because in other countries you can't do that.
Why, Canadians don't pay bills?
No, I mean,
No, but no, you can literally pay your credit card off his website with crypto.
No, that's
Yeah,
some cool shit. That's what I'm saying. Like we talked about that earlier. That's some cool shit. I mean, like to me, it's fascinating that like somebody, congratulations, Adam came up with something that's first on the market. Now it's all about making sure it's a branded and making sure that he's the ADP of Canada. Like that's the way I would think approaching the entire thing. Like, yeah, you don't stop marketing, you don't start branding, you push it more to make sure that like anybody trying to copycat you has no chance. Like you're gonna have to spend so much. If I decided to do the same thing that Adam did today, it would cost me so much fucking money.
Yeah.
Then there's no point. Yeah, I'd be
Yeah,
number second, but the numbers would be there would be such a discrepancy between numbers. It would just be ridiculous.
What?
It's kind of interesting to see like the barrier to entry into a Bitcoin ATM. Like the actual hardware is relatively small, right? For less than 20K, you can kind of.
Yeah.
But what people don't understand is the operations of it,
Yeah.
and also like the flow of funds is insane. We've spent basically 7 years perfecting our process, and it's been through a lot of trial and error, a lot of research, a lot of banging your head against the wall, trying to reinvent and trying to like how do we, like I said, Mark noted, we pride ourselves on making things super, super accessible and making them affordable. And so it's been interesting to kind of, balance all of that and figure out what's the best way and defining best practices in an industry that doesn't have best practices. So it's been really fun to kind of
the thing is,
and it's good
how
to
do you
know
get people go ahead and get to the ATM machine, and instead of pulling out cash, why don't they get Bitcoin? Is really how do you get that adoption now, cranking completely, like turning on the faucet completely on it to have people use it. That's probably me thinking that's the next level. That's the next level shit. Because now you already have 7 years, like you said, you already have everything leveled out. So you're basically stage 1 has been complete for you. Now it's on to stage 2, which is now we bring in the people. Now we educate them as we talked earlier. Now they're using it, and now they're telling their friends. And if one person tells 40 people and then you have 20 use it, you're winning because it's just word of mouth now going. And
totally.
I'm getting into branding and marketing. I'll shut up.
Adam, what are the barriers if you wanted to offer a service for a crypto debit card? Because everyone knows it's not easy in Canada. A lot of people try it and they fail. It's
just Interac. Interac just blocks it. There's absolutely no debit card in Canada that doesn't use Interac, and Interac as the giant centralized system just says no.
Yeah.
So
many brands, and they think they're coming to Canada. They even announce they're coming to Canada. Yeah. And they're not.
No. Interac just says no, and again, it's a problem with centralization. It's a problem with the monopoly that is.
Well, because look how they're getting paid. Like look how their back pockets are getting filled, right?
100%, without question.
So yeah, if merchants would just fucking accept, Bitcoin.
No, merchants will accept whatever, David. The merchants are fine.
What I'm saying is if more merchants would go ahead and accept Bitcoin through a phone transaction, forget about that. I'm talking about just a phone for now, for the time being, phone transactions, okay? They would not only save on themselves, they would save on merchant fees, chargebacks. Those two in itself, if you go ahead and calculate that up in a fiscal year, tons of money. Tons of money.
Stay tuned on our website for something around that in the coming while. We're very
there we go. Adam, I remember having conversations with you way back, years ago. And of course I wanted to get into the same business, and I'm like, I'll just get my own machine, and this seems easy. And I was kind of excited. I'm like, it's just this much money, no problem. I'll just go buy the machine, hook it up. And then it's like, wait a minute. I still have to hook up to the internal part of it. Then I need liquidity. So
like buying Bitcoin is difficult to do online.
Yeah.
You either have to trust someone with a bunch of information and money, or you have to wait a long time. And so what we did is we basically front loaded all that, right? We made some relationships in the space, and we kind of, we chose who to and who not to do business with. and we
Yeah.
front load all of that work for the customer. And so,
Yeah.
you know, we charge a convenience fee at the ATM, just like you do, you know, when you're at the gas station, you
Yeah.
need cash for whatever reason. You just, you know, you pay your transaction fee. It's kind of the same idea with our ATMs.
Yeah, hooking up an ATM is not as easy as just buying the freaking
No.
body and plunking it in your. Oh, and I'll just go load it up with BTC. No, it's not that easy. I remember getting into BTC, and Ross, you'll know this too. In Calgary, OTC back in the day, it could take like the whole day to get your BTC. Remember that?
Yeah.
The whole day, you'd have to go back. You'd be like, wait a minute here. So I gave you money, and it's been like 12 hours now, and I have nothing.
Totally.
It's quick now. It's really quick.
No, Adam's machines are buddy. The clients that come in, it's impressive because they're
What's the transaction speed?
Speed?
Yeah, what's the speed of a transaction? If I go to your ATM machine right now to take out Bitcoin.
Yeah, 8 seconds or less is our target.
Oh, so that's dope.
So you see like you see Bitcoin on the chain in 8 seconds.
That's awesome.
So it's,
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I used Adam's machine to get all my stuff. I'm not going to lie there.
It's like bar none, no questions asked. Buying Bitcoin from an ATM is the fastest and safest way to do it, without question. Non-custodial. There's absolutely no waiting. Like you're sitting there, you push send, you watch the chain, and it's on there. It's the fastest way to do it.
That's so awesome.
You've taken out a huge barrier, because back in the day, I actually used to get clients walking in and asking me, "Hey, are these things actually safe? Like, am I actually going to get my BTC?" You've removed that barrier by being really consistent. Like you've never had a jam up where people are scamming to take money out. You know where guys.
No, yeah. And one thing we did that was very intentional, because of course you can program the machines to do whatever. We've actually had some companies come in and they'll accept funds without actually having the coins to deliver.
Yeah.
With the mindset of taking those funds and then trying to turn them around fast enough to get the customer before the customer notices.
That's right.
Which is just bad practice. Like that's just not the way to do it, right? We always make sure that the customer leaves, making sure that they feel taken care of. You may
be the only one. Maybe not now, but I bet you're the only one that was operating that way for BTM machine in where we're from. I think every other operator was not front loading. Like they were trying to act quick so the customer wouldn't catch it. Yeah.
And I mean, that just gets dangerous, right? It doesn't, it's very short-sighted. They probably made a ton of cash. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
The people probably raked it in, but the longevity wasn't quite there. We have not made and don't plan on making any decisions that are short-sighted like that. We're here for the long term. I mean, we're going public for the reason that we want people to see Bitcoin positively, right? We want people to look at Bitcoin and say like, wow, this space right now is a little bit tainted. There's some black marks on the space, and those will disappear eventually as more kind of white marks, or as more kind of positivity comes into the space. And so we're hoping to be part of that positivity.
So what you bring to the table is phenomenal. Like for me, like I'm sitting back, I'm listening to everybody talk. I've said a few things, but I've been looking at the phone and researching even more about what you present to the public. This is something that once we finally, and I think it'll be a year or two from now, that's really in my head. I see in a year or two, 2 years from now, you'll see a lot more people being a little bit more educated about Bitcoin, and they'll see a machine like yours and they'll say, listen, let me try this. And it'll go from let me try this to I'm going to use this. That's probably going to be the onboarding process for you personally. It's going to be like, I'm just going to try this for fun. Look at me. And you know what's going to happen? Marketing time. People are going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to test this out. I'm going to take a video of me taking out Bitcoin. They're going to post it on social media. Free marketing, word of mouth. And that in itself is just going to travel. People will say, oh, cool, they have it. Let me try that. And I think you'll do really well with it, especially if you become more innovative and, make it a little bit more. I'm sure you have plans, so I'm not going to tell you what to do with your company.
You've definitely got plans. I've been really lucky lately. The team has been so strong, and we've like I said, we've got that operational process kind of down pat. So I've been able to do some serious, like, lots of my day now is innovating, which frankly is like, I'm not very good at operating. My mind and my attention span doesn't quite allow me to properly do that. So I think that I recognize that, and we've been building out a team for a long time to make sure that things are running smoothly. And so I get to do what I find is the most fun, which is just think about problems and think about how to solve them, which is ultimately where I like to live.
I think you solved it. I mean, you literally came out with a real use case, and you've solved an issue that we're going to have in the next year or two. I'm not saying we don't have the issue now. You do have the people that are using it. We're going to have an issue a year to 2 years down the road once people are finally really educated and interested about Bitcoin and understand that, holy shit, I just sat through COVID. I've seen, from my side, I just seen the United States print out money like nothing.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is this money coming from? We couldn't even take care of our own veterans. Now we have money going brrr the entire time, and the only people that are getting rich are Amazon, Microsoft. Should I keep going? Tesla, all these big companies are getting rich. I'm getting not me personally, but I'm getting a $1,200 stimulus check. What? I mean, Uniswap sent out a bigger went ahead and sent out a bigger stimulus package than the United States did.
Crazy. Yeah, it's interesting, man. It's going to be very interesting.
I did a ton of research, like when I got into having a BTM machine, like, well, and you know this, Adam, because I was calling you off the hook at the time. Like, I did research on not just one company. I did research on probably 4 different companies before I chose. And again, and to this day, I always tell people, listen, look at use case, research use case, and research team, both. Team, use case, because ultimately we made the decision. I made the decision based on team and use case. I had to talk to you and talk to other people. And then ultimately I made that decision because of how you operate. So, but do you encourage, though, your locations? I know you operate, the location is kind of a host, right? But do you encourage meetups, or how are you encouraging more people to get into crypto, I guess? What's your next step?
That's one thing that we've been thinking about internally, is how do we properly, engage our hosts, but not actually not pressure them into anything. So we've definitely, like you, Mark, you're super involved, and you obviously, do your own thing. And we have other hosts that don't do that, which is totally fine. We, like, at our headquarters in Edmonton, we partnered with the Edmonton Bitcoin Association. So pre-COVID, we had a bunch of people at our offices, which was great. We have a Bitcoin ATM in our offices, which you can use, and we set it up in a way that people could come in, learn about it, and make that place familiar. We actually had one of our, you can see it on my Twitter, actually. I think it's my pinned tweet right now. We had a guy come in and build a jukebox.
I'm sorry, Adam. I'm sorry for that. What happened just now? I'm sorry.
What happened?
Mark's
bringing in his cheese?
Mark gets breakfast all the time. Delivery.
I'm sorry, Adam. Sorry, Adam.
That's funny, because I texted him before. I was like, I'm not supposed to make breakfast, am I? He's like, no, but sometimes I do. I was like, okay, that's all good.
That's why I wanted to apologize in advance. Go ahead, Adam. I'm sorry.
So we had Jarrett, who's part of our community. He came in and built out a jukebox using Lightning Network. So it's got a full node on it. It's got a nice screen showing all the stats of the node, and then it's got this piece of e-paper, and you can go through the e-paper and you choose your song. You scan, it generates an invoice. You scan the Lightning invoice, and then the song starts playing, which is awesome because it showcases the real use of Bitcoin and of Lightning. It's fantastic.
If people say, why should I use your machine when I can just buy it online? What would you say to them?
Yeah, simple. Custody, man. Custody. Buying online is the absolute scariest thing. Look at BitMEX. Like, do you want to have money in BitMEX right now? The founders are being hunted by the United States government. You want to have money in that website? No thanks. Yeah. You want to have money in Quadriga? You want to have money in Einstein? You want to have money in Mt. Gox? No, thank you. Custody is the scariest thing in the world. If anybody is holding your money, you do not have that money. So
here's a
there
question.
is no chance.
Here's a question for you, Adam. Why, with all of these problems with exchanges, why have we not seen any regulation globally to tell exchanges how to store their crypto?
Because then you got to tell the banks how to do it, man. Like
Yeah,
the government's regulating the exchanges is like saying, you guys cannot hold customer funds. but the banks can, and that's fine.
Yeah.
It's an oxymoron. And so to your point, Ross, like I guess like you asked, you trailed off at the end, and I kind of already had my answer pre-done, so I just ignored it. You know, how to store Bitcoin? The government, we do not want the government telling us how to store Bitcoin. They have these stupidest ideas. So if they say you have to have it in a 7 of 9 multi-sig, well, is that really best practice for the industry? Like, no it's not. Frankly,
No.
Right?
I'm surprised.
So we don't want to have that.
I'm surprised that we haven't had exchanges to say, look, we're setting a standard. We're setting this high standard.
I think we've tried that. Like, you know, you look at the custody arrangements between like BitGo and Coinbase, or you look at, you know, other people in the space doing right. Like they're saying, hey, look, this is insured and this is bonded and it's all safe. And that's true. But guys, what people don't understand is this is logistically safe and this is actually safe. I am logistically safe in my house with my doors locked and my windows closed, and that's all good. But if somebody wants to come in, there's a shotgun going through the window and they're getting into my house without question. Mm-hmm. So like logistically, I'm safe. My doors are locked. It's all good. Mm-hmm. Actually, someone can get in if they really want to. And that's kind of the difference here, right? Somebody is always going to get in if they really want to, unless you're holding your own coins. So custody is bar none the like scariest thing that anyone could do in this industry, in my opinion.
Yeah. Amazing.
I mean,
companies
listen, but that comes down to, Ross, you know what? That comes down to, again, we're going to trail back to people being lazy. Because you have people just say, you know,
it's definitely easier to give someone else your coins.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna buy it on, you know, Binance. I'm gonna go to, you know, Gemini. I'm gonna go to OKX or whatever it is. I'm gonna buy them on there. I'm gonna leave it on there, and you know, I'll take it out when I feel like it. You know,
totally.
That's the mindset of people. You know, and that's why I asked that question. You know, why this over that? And you just put it simply with one word, in which it makes sense. But unfortunately, I don't, you know, a lot of people don't have access to a machine. So like that's the sad part, is that like I don't have an access to like a machine to go ahead and say, you know what,
we're not doing our job good enough yet, man.
But it's not you.
Keep going.
I'm in the States, you know, like I there might be machines around here, but you know what? I have an idea. I'm not going to say it online so your competitors get it. So, but if there was, I'm going to shut up right now, but there could be a thing that could help me get to that machine. I'll put it that way.
I like that. Hey guys, I do got a bolt here right away. This has been fantastic. I really enjoyed talking, and this has been really, really great. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
We appreciate you coming on.
Adam, you've done a ton in this space, brother, and you've been in it for so long. And
thank you.
So when do you go public? Do you know?
The timing is still unclear. We've done the deal. The deal itself is actually done. Now we're just going back and forth. The exchange, of course, has to go through the entire 80+ page filing statement to make sure that what we say is accurate. And so they're going through that, and we're going back and forth with some clarifications and comments. And then after that, we're very, very hopeful that this is like in 2020 is definitely on the books right now, and we're hopeful for quite a bit before the end of the year.
This is
good
awesome,
luck, Adam. Honestly, good luck, man.
Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the adoption, man. I'm big on that. Thank you for that.
Enjoy the rest of your day, Adam. Thanks for your time, brother. Really appreciate you taking the time out this morning to join us. So
it's my pleasure, guys. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks. Catch you later.
All right. Peace, guys.
So I like that.
We're on OT.
Well, it's not OT.
Overtime.
Post-game wrap-up.
Well, I like what Adam brings to the space. I like the whole concept of going to a machine, taking, you know, Bitcoin out of a machine. Unfortunately, I think, you know, it doesn't work here in the States. We don't have a lot of that here in the States. How do you locate one? Very difficult. You know, you're going to have to go ahead and set up some sort of mapping system to go ahead and locate one.
Coin
ATM.
Coin Market Radar, or whatever it is. Coin ATM Radar.
Yeah.
What I meant by that though was, if I'm driving by a location, you know how you have there used to be there still is. You would be in the mall and you'd be able to go ahead and receive a text message. Mm-hmm. So you're walking by a store and the store would send you a text message once you're like close to their facility.
Oh,
like
geometrics.
Right, yeah, it's like geofencing, as we would call it here. So
that's
boom,
Minority Report stuff. They scan your
Yeah, so
eyeballs
like-
and then they tell you, hey,
Yeah.
go buy this. again.
Geofencing marketing.
So now you go ahead and you have that. And I think
Mhm.
that if you had that with ATM machines,
Mhm.
you know, because instead of people searching on, it's too much. Like I said, people are lazy. So they rather have like the ping right now, like ping, you know how you get your news on your phone?
Mhm.
Like people want that. Give it to me. I don't want to look for you. Give it to me. So if you had that going on, you'd have more people say, like I told you, say, oh, let me try this out. I'm gonna put it on video and I'm gonna blast it on social. And that in itself would be tremendous marketing.
Well,
Tremendous.
these machines have GPS in them. Like the machine I use has GPS tracker right in it. So if somebody were to try to come in and take my machine, which they can't because it's basically like bolted, like you can't. But anyway, even if you took it, there's nothing to take. But
Yeah.
they're GPS tracked. So geofencing is an awesome. I can't believe more people in this space are not geofence advertising.
Because
I really
nobody
can't.
again, let's go back to it. I've spoken to so many people this week. Their perception of marketing is I'm going to hire a shiller.
Yeah.
I'm going to hire somebody for $2
Mhm.
that's going to market my product.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is how you sound when you tell me that. I have a Bentley. I run Bentley motor cars,
Mm-hmm.
but I am going to using marketing agency that'll cost me $50
Mm-hmm.
to go ahead and market it. That is this. That it's just like, why even start it? Why
Yep.
even come out with the project? It makes no sense to me.
There's
It
no
tells
strategy.
me when somebody tells me I don't believe in marketing, it tells me that you don't even believe you're in your project. I don't want to hear the, oh, I'm doing the Cardano thing. I'm gonna have, I'm gonna be like Charles and have people come to me. That whole thing is wrong.
Well, it
Nobody's
worked
gonna
for
be like
Ferrari.
The
Charles.
entire thing is wrong.
It works for Ferrari,
Charles is awesome.
but very few people can get away with that for sure. Listen, the way, you know how I look at this, if you've got millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars and you were a pre-mine and you were an ICO and you've raised all that money and you're not willing to spend a ton on marketing, something is just, I'm not getting involved in that project at all.
No.
I'm not going to be the fool. That's how I look at it. It takes, if you raise that much money, you should have allocated it. Actually, it's already in their graphs and their white papers, how much money these people allocate to marketing. David, how many of these companies do you actually think allocate what they say they are going to allocate to marketing? They hold back 20% for marketing. They don't spend 20% on marketing.
They don't spend. I don't believe. I hate, it's almost like it's scary to say the word marketing because it comes off like chilling, but that's because of what this space did when they called chilling marketing. It's like that's to go ahead and do AMAs, excuse me, to do these, underground things, and that's not marketing. Like
But it worked.
wanna-
It worked at the end of 2017 and
Correct.
18. You could
Correct.
spend a small amount and get a huge response.
Correct.
And people are still riding that theory.
Correct.
The crypto Twitter, who has
You're
the most
talking about the
followers?
John McAfee.
Yeah, exactly. John McAfee.
Well, whatever. I'm talking about people are still stuck. They're not moving forward properly. Like, and we're so stuck on these freaking words in crypto, like marketing is called shilling, shit coins. It's like, just get over it already, man. This is 2020. Let's get rid of 2017. That was 3 years ago. Let's move into what it actually is.
There's 20 different layers that you could add to your marketing, but when you ask the average C-level person within a company in our industry, they could probably list 1 to 3 types of marketing. They don't even know about the rest.
Okay, you go pick a project, ask to speak to their marketing team, then ask their marketing team how much experience they have in marketing.
And it's not a team, it's a guy or a woman.
Correct. It's not a team. It's one person. It's like,
one
so
person. There is no team.
it's like, cool. So what did you do before this? Well, I kind of liked crypto a little bit. I was kind of working at Starbucks and I was a barista, and then I decided to get into crypto, and then I got into marketing.
It's hard though.
I think a
because-
lot of people though, I'll add on, some projects did get burnt
Yeah.
because they did essentially say, you know what, we believe in marketing, we believe in branding, and they went ahead and spent money on it only to get nothing in return. You know, you get some people that use just Fiverr and market their brand, which is not branding, and now they're like, when a real marketing firm is in this space telling you they could take you to the next level, they're like, I don't believe it because I did that already.
Well, that's
and
wrong.
It didn't work.
If you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, buddy, you can't expect different results. So if you keep hiring these Twitter guys, you know, I've got 750,000 followers. So it's like, you know, $500 for a 10-day campaign. Oh, perfect. 500. So you got 3 likes. And then it's like the next guy. They're trying to find, some of these crypto companies are just trying to find easy solutions. It's like, oh, I met this guy, and I've talked to lots of projects, believe me. Same as you, David. Same as you, Ross. We probably talk. I don't even want to guess on how many projects in a week the 3 of us actually talk to, but it's a ton. David, I know you're way up there as far as how many DMs you're getting in a week. And
I mean, but you see it, like, it's just like, how much can I pay you for a tweet? I'm like, you can't pay me anything.
it's just so.
And if you're gonna pay me something, I'm gonna go ahead and put it's an advertisement. It's a sponsor. Like, I'm not, you know. But then
It's
again,
not an
you have to
endorsement.
kick in. Correct. I don't endorse it. There's no endorsement. But then people are gonna say to you, well, if you're not endorsing it, why are you putting it out there?
It's
Right?
part of the industry.
Would your response not be that? No, but I'm saying, like, let's say, like, if you're not using it, like most of these people that, like Shaquille O'Neal, when he does marketing for like Icy Hot, he uses it.
Yeah, that's
Like,
important.
does he use it every day? No, but he uses it.
That's
Well,
important.
Here's a good one for marketing. You knew who actually did a really, really, really good marketing campaign? Weight Watchers.
Mm-hmm.
They did really, really, really well. Absolutely one of the most amazing companies for marketing.
Yeah.
They picked the right people. They've got believers. Everybody that they have is believable.
I'm gonna call somebody out right now. No, I'm gonna
don't call anybody out.
No, I'm gonna hold. It's not unfiltered.
David,
I'm gonna say this.
If
I'm
it's
gonna
me,
say this. You
that's
know what got
fine.
me
Go
pissed
ahead.
off? Ross went ahead and made a point to me yesterday. I'm like, really? So you have Bitcoin Maximus, and I've been tweeting about it for already. This is the second day I'm tweeting about it. So, you know, I'm doing giveaways, money out of my own pocket to bring people into the space. Great. You know what? I got a ton of people now interested into crypto, and I'm so fucking happy about it.
I just actually asked you about that the other day. Remember when we've talked on the phone? I said, David, it's important that I know, and we're podcasters, we talk all the time, but I said, it's important that I know that you're actually dipping into your own bank account to give this stuff away. And you answered the question. Of course it was, yes, I am. And I'm like, dude, that is freaking awesome. You bought a freaking pizza, your own money. You know, it doesn't matter what people say. I'm over it. Doesn't matter what people say about what you're doing. You're spending your own freaking money doing it, dude. And if you get 100 people downloading a wallet in 1 week, 50 people, that's 50 more people than that complainer's not getting.
I'll just take one.
Yeah.
I don't, if I can
Don't
get
worry.
one person, I'm good.
Whatever, dude. If
and
somebody
people-
wants to complain about it, then they can go dip into their own freaking bank account and start doing it themselves. Simple.
You could pull up the tweet that I made today and I will read it out to everybody. What I said was this: history lesson for everybody. For those that might not be following us on Twitter, that are just, you know, a Reddit post or whatnot. When Bitcoin was created, people used to give it out for free to others to get them into cryptocurrency. That's fact. You used to walk by 2012, 13, somebody would hand you Bitcoin.
Well, we
And
know
you're like,
that.
what the
We
fuck is
know
this?
that because of the pizza.
Great, right? All right, cool. Fast forward. I'm giving out free Bitcoin because I want to be a part of that movement.
Mhm.
It's called adoption.
Mhm.
That was my tweet.
Yeah.
So what am I doing so different than what was being done in 2012, 13?
You know what you're doing different, buddy? I'll tell you what you're doing different. is you're listening to these freaking idiots that are
No, I'm not, I'm actually
commenting.
Not, you know what it is? I feel bad when, and I have like, you know what? It's the craziest part. I have some of my really good, you know, really good friends, I would say, that I've met on here.
Yeah.
And I get messages like, Dave, what are you doing? The giveaways are given, you know, you're going away from your content. I'm like, no, this is content. This is me actually stretching my hand out and doing what we keep yapping about in this space. We keep talking about adoption, get Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, adoption, and yet nobody does shit.
It's not.
The conferences are the same people, the same audience, the same speakers, the same everything. That is not adoption. I don't want to hear adoption anymore. Adoption, you know what it is? Go ahead, take money out your own pocket, get the shit fucking sponsored, get exchanges, get everybody. Hey, influencers, hey, educators, let's get you in. Give $10 out for free here. Here's $10 in Bitcoin. I want you to give it out. I want you to bring your an audience, not your current audience, but an audience in. My audience right now, I have probably 20% of my audience is from the Philippines.
More, I bet you more.
And when somebody told me, well, $10 is nothing, fuck you. You know what $10 is? That's a meal for a week.
Yeah, well, it's daily wage. You guys going to work 8 hours a day. The average wage out there is about, let's just say it's $5 to $10 a day is your average salary for working a whole day. So tons of people get $5 and some of the higher ends get 10.
Can I ask you a question?
So
I got so many people under my lineup, meaning like I got so many people following me. I got so many. Well, can I buy your shit with Bitcoin? No. Don't say nothing. No names. Can I buy? Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a troll in this space dissing the shit out of Bitcoin. You go to his website, pay with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
What?
Let me ask you a question, David. When you're tweeting and you say, I'm giving away $20 in half an hour, how much money do you get paid to do that?
Zero.
Okay, perfect. Okay, stop. How much money? So you get paid zero money to tweet that out of your own Twitter account in your own day, that you're free to do what you want in your own day, but you get paid zero money to do that. Okay, so how much money does it cost you money to do that?
Of course.
How much does it cost you?
Honestly, this is honest. I don't know how much I've spent.
Okay,
I don't
so it's
calculate.
costing you that $20 and your time.
I'm probably scared to calculate it.
So it's costing you per that one tweet $20 plus your time.
Yeah.
So for anybody to come out and say that you're doing it for the wrong reasons can shove it up their ass, because your actions speak louder than words. So
it's not. You know what? It's not about me. I could care less. I could take it. Honestly, all this bullshit.
And you know what? The content comment that person made, I do think that's on par. What you're doing with the giveaways is one side, and that's one avenue, one rail. I do think the content is a separate rail. So they're both two separate conversations, and I think you need both.
I can put content out. I do it every day.
No.
It's my content. I go ahead. I mix it up now with the giveaways.
Right. But I'm talking about is media content. Your tweets are your personal. That's your...
we
always have media content.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like
Maybe that's an indicator of how lazy people are. They're used to having, a certain type of content coming from David Gokshin and G Media, and they keep seeing the giveaways, and they're like, I don't want to see this. They're like, I don't want to have to push my thumb down more and scroll more.
Okay, perfect. Mute me.
They're lazy.
At the end of the day, mute me.
Okay,
because
but 2017 crypto made people lazy, dude. That's just reality.
That's fine. I'm going after the people that you're supposedly so interested in educating, and you want the adoption, but when they go ahead and ask a question and I see it firsthand, you never answer them.
Here's what we need to do, David. I'll tell you what we need to do. We really, really, really need to get a G Media division in the Philippines is what we need to do.
Sure. I've always said
we need.
One day we will have a charity section here at G Media where we will go ahead and give out, money to those less fortunate. Like that's going to happen.
We need somebody landed in the Philippines that can handle like a G Media part, whatever we're doing, apps or wallets, or it doesn't matter, whatever we're doing for G Media in the Philippines landed, that can be our liaison in the Philippines. And I'm telling you, buddy, if they're doing the same thing what you're doing now, we're gonna see that absolutely get taken by storm. Like it's gonna be phenomenal. It's gonna be art, man. It's gonna be awesome.
I mean, to
Anyway.
me, I mean, like, listen, I
Wait till
my
I start
my
doing
my
giveaways
my,
next week, buddy.
my main goal is, I know that a lot of people out there, want to get into the crypto space. They don't know how to. We have an obligation as, OGs. I'm not an OG by any stretch. I think that's such a lame word to use, and I used it just now, but or abbreviation. But we have a duty though to in order to grow this space, especially as a media company. We need to get out there and talk to people that don't understand it, want to understand it, and bring them in. And I feel like I've taken something and brought people in, and now I have a certain amount of people that are following me that are learning it blockchain 101. Now, if they ever feel like leaving, because they're free to leave at any time, they're not signed to any contract. They can leave right after the giveaway of free, Bitcoin. They can go and learn from somebody else who they feel brings more value to the table. They don't have to do it with me. They don't. And that's the real thing that I tell them. Like, I'm like, you know what? After me, you might have to go ahead and see this guy because he brings more to the table in terms of actual, like I do FA and I believe like I really do it well, but there's people that do it better. They've been in the space longer. They know exactly, they know a bit more than me. I don't claim to be this genius. So I'll send them to that person. But that's adoption. That's working together. We have too many clicks here. And fuck the clicks. I'm tired of all these clicks. You got to say Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, nothing else. Like to me, accept Bitcoin and nothing else. Then
just keep doing what you're doing, and
I'm good. What I'm saying is, it's not me. I'm talking about the hypocrites.
We just do our thing.
That say buy Bitcoin and don't even accept it themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna be about it, be about it. Like don't do it and don't say that. And
listen, man, there's two kinds of people in this world: those that look at the glass half full and those that look at the glass half empty. So we just do our thing, and you're a half full kind of guy. And
there's a third person who looks at the glass as refillable.
Huh.
Only you would say something like that.
It's because I
Ross is waiting. He was waiting to like.
That's
hold
what
on,
I do.
Golden Girls.
Ross just comes up with the weirdest stuff sometimes.
Ross is one of the brightest minds in the space that isn't out there, and I'm pushing him out there, and I hope I get him out of his uncomfort zone because people need to hear what Ross has to say, even though he's shaking his head. He's probably petting his cat, but at this point in time, Ross, that's why I've been like pushing Ross.
Are you saying that just because he's a referee between you and I?
No, that has nothing to do with it because no referee will stop me. But what I'm saying is, Ross is the type of guy that he'll break it down to you, and he'll give you a whole damn report about what you need to go ahead and do right. So I like that about Ross, and he can bring a light to the space. We're giving each other credit. I love this. Oh my God.
You know what? Like, there's people need to tap. Like Ross is actually really good. I think you're a #1 McDonald's employee for how long, Ross?
McDonald's.
I'm kidding.
Wish.
I'm kidding.
You know what? Me and my friends wanted to work.
They actually have one of the
McDonald's
best
when we were
training programs.
teenagers. We wanted to work at McDonald's and get like 6 or 7 of us on a shift, and then we were going to all quit all at the same time. we couldn't get hired.
That's awesome. Now Ross is actually really smart. People need to tap into his brain because he's got really good business sense. But we just do what we do, brother. David, and whatever, dude. Do our thing, and I like what you're doing for giveaways. Because I phoned you and I've asked you some detailed questions about it.
Listen, at the end of
I
the
want to
day,
start doing it. Can I do it? Can I do it too with you?
I would love to see everybody do it. It doesn't matter.
Can you pay though for me to do it? Because I don't have money.
Yeah,
Lots
it's funny.
of people
People
will pay for that.
I think everybody will jump on board on that one. Hey, Dave, just you know, I think it's the last name that gives people the wrong perception. But yeah, I mean, I think if you have like even $5 to give away, that's even fair enough. $5 worth of Bitcoin. Wow, it's kind of like it's kind of getting like a free pen from TD.
I don't know. That $5 was like.
Let me ask you a question. How long has anybody been to TD? To TD Bank, it came from Canada, so you must have it up there, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go to TD to give you a free pen, right?
I don't know.
No, not anymore.
I was there a couple years
Well,
ago.
we get free pens down here in the United States.
I
So
thought you got a
You don't even get a free bank account.
You get a free
If
gun,
we get
don't
a-
you?
people go to TD to get free pens, right? And you use it, right? So when you're looking at it, it says TD is the best marketing plan ever. You're getting free pens, right? You're constantly looking at it and you're like, TD. If you're not going to get into TD, the next person who stole that pen, because everybody loves to steal a pen, you know, he's looking at it, it says TD. Oh, shit, I need a bank account. I'll go to TD. It's
look.
probably the best thing that they ever did.
Look what I got. MGM Skylofts.
Ooh,
MGM Grand. That's
nice.
great marketing.
No,
It's
but
great
that's
marketing.
different. I mean, you're in a casino. I'm talking about that's different. But
Budget. Where are you going to rent your car? Budget. Yeah.
visual marketing, like I said, the billboards, they work. It just takes time.
Yeah.
I think billboards are just, you'll never get an ROI off it and you can't get a metric off of it. It's just branding is all it is.
It's branding. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like McDonald's. Does McDonald's really need to have TV ads anymore?
No,
No.
they just need to make you hungry. That's it.
They just need to be relevant. Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, and you just need a coworker to make you hungry as well. Thank you. But on that note,
Just do what you're doing, David, man. Don't
next
get
week-
all.
Next week we have Maureen Murat from Crowdy Advisors on the show.
She's a lawyer, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to this one. There's it's going to be like David and I are going to battle for questions because there's so much stuff we can ask her. That's going to be exciting next week, actually.
I don't really. I just really want to listen to her take. Like, I have a few questions.
Yeah.
I just want to sit back and really listen to what she has to say because, you know, I really want to figure out what is what in this space because I'm still confused.
Here's a teaser for next week. Quote of Maureen Murat. She says, "Smart contracts are neither smart nor contracts." So
Wow.
that'll be interesting to discuss.
And,
Wow.
and as far as our guest goes today, you don't see Adam all over Twitter every day,
No.
but the guy's building an absolute monster in Canada.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And he's been down grinding and just doing his thing. And you don't see him on Twitter at all. Well, you do when he talks about Pokemon, but that's about it.
Pokemon.
Well, enjoy
He
your
bought one of
Sunday,
those
guys.
packs. He bought one of those packs, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah. Well, enjoy the Sunday, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. I'm waiting for my Ethernet cord.
Nice. You both need that to get rid of
I'm
your
good.
dial-up. Get rid of your dial-up modems.
David can't afford it anymore because he's too busy giving away his money for people that should be getting into
Can somebody
Bitcoin.
play Little John? Shots. Everybody. shots.
That's our outro.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Take it easy.
All right, brother. See you
Have a
guys
good
later.
one, guys. Thank you for tuning in, guys.
The Blockchain Breakfast podcast is sponsored by Crazy 8 Token, the newest payment solution for casinos and their customers in emerging markets around the world. Crazy 8 Token is powered by the Casino Coin blockchain. For more information, visit crazy8token.com. And also, Futurist Conference, Canada's largest blockchain and emerging technologies event. Register today at futuristconference.com for this virtual event happening November 11th and 12th. And also, Fact Finance, who just launched their fact lending pool, where you can stake a minimum 500 fact and receive 57.5% APY. Visit fact.finance today for more information.